functioning within normal parameters.
Isaac, I don't think you're a murderer.
I thank you for your compliment.
Even though Isaac did end up saving the Orville and betraying his own kind during the invasion, we have three main questions that we have to answer. The first question I had was, when did he find out that his people committed genocide on the creators? Was it the entire time they were on the Orville? Or was that data uploaded to him when he returned to his home world?
I thought it was uploaded to when he returned to his home world.
That's what
But
I
I
would
could be
want to
wrong.
believe. Yeah, me too. I would want to believe that.
Because I know a lot of
because
people were debating in their reviews whether to blame Isaac if it was his fault for what he did, and I don't think it was. He had no control over it.
I definitely agree that he has less control over it because it's the primary who had control.
Right, and then he finally overrid the programming and took over and saved everyone.
But before that, Kelly asks Isaac, "Were you ever going to share this chapter of your history?" And at this point, he doesn't deny anything or say anything here. So, that question is up for debate.
Well, if somebody asked, think about it. If you asked me that question, I would say, well, if I don't know that, how would that be a denial? What if I know it, but I'm just not telling you? That's a denial. But if I don't know, if I truly don't know, you would consider not telling you a denial as well, because you
But
don't know whether I'm telling the truth or not.
But if he did know, it was lying by omission.
True, it's possible. Well, I guess we'll never know, right? It's up to speculation.
Right. And my second question is, okay, Hungry Boy says Isaac seemed like a reverse Benedict Arnold to me. Number 2, did the Kalon imprint him with the purpose for his research into human behavior? If yes, then everyone's anger towards him is logical. I'm not sure if he only knew his objective or the reasoning behind the mission.
So you're wondering if he knew the whole time what their intent and goal was?
Yes.
And he just hid that from the crew of the Orville?
Yes. What I found is that, as stated with his date with Claire, it seems like he didn't know anything except that when it is time, the Kalon primary will call.
It just seems to me like, from the Kalon perspective, they wouldn't have that in his memory bank so there wouldn't be nothing would be compromised. I just have a feeling that he was deactivated remotely, which they did, shut down. The crew brought him to the Kalon planet. They downloaded all the information, got everything they wanted to know about the humans, and then at that point is when they programmed him in attack mode and told him what was going on. But we're all just speculating, right? All this we're talking about happened off screen, pretty much.
Right. All of this is speculation based on how you actually feel about about Isaac. You want to project, the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I'm thinking about, I do like Isaac, but I'm trying to think about how the robots would look at it too, because they're on the offensive and not the defensive.
Right, because they're ready to take over. They're ready to take over the galaxy. So
right, and if I was gonna slip a Trojan horse into an enemy camp, if I could have a Trojan horse that doesn't know that it's a Trojan horse, that's much more effective.
Yes, I believe that. I believe that too. That makes sense. Further evidence that he didn't know until identity is when he says goodbye to the children. He tells them to remember to consume your daily requirements and obey your mother's commands. Why would he go through that little speech if he didn't expect them to live?
True. I completely agree with that.
But unfortunately, there's evidence against this perspective. When he asks when he states that what was your objective all along? It's true we don't know when he learns this, but at some point he knows that it was not to initiate relations between our people. His true objective was to determine whether or not humans are worth preserving.
Right, I thought it was pretty much, didn't he state that it was to study humans, right?
Right. Throughout season 1 and 2, that's what his claim was, that it was just to study humans.
Yes.
But here in Identity, he seems to know the end goal. And is that the end goal of judging humanity and deciding whether or not they're allowed to live.
Right, but as far as we saw on screen, he didn't know that end goal until after he had been to Kalon and reprogrammed, right?
Those questions are, as far as I'm concerned, a little bit unanswered, a little bit vague, unclear. Sorapupus Q. Burr says that he admits he's here to study
Manchurian robot candidate.
And then here's the one that you and I discussed when we reviewed Identity. When we reviewed it, we discussed that Isaac could have chosen the Kalon side for part of the episode because he was trying to time his betrayal to save the ship. Unfortunately, after watching this episode with the road not taken, there are hints that this isn't the case. Because without Into the Fold and Happy Refrain, we don't have Ty getting caught, which is the catalyst that turns Isaac against his kind.
True.
So what exactly the Kalon did to his programming when they reactivated him could have temporarily turned him against his crew until Ty brought him back. But as we said, we're really speculating on this.
Imagine this. Okay, one thing's for certain. All right. After he went back to Kalon, they downloaded all the information and they learned everything about humans they wanted to learn, right? They could have wiped his memory altogether where he didn't even recognize who the Orville crew was, which would be more effective, right? The fact that they let him
Right.
keep his memories intact is what put them in danger. That was the Kalon's weakness. They should have done that. He used that against them.
Yeah, that's true. They really
They
should.
could've-
They really could have done that.
All they had to do is hit the reset button like he was a brand new Kalon, and there would have been no question, no problem, no conflict.
Well, they kind of want to do that, and they even threaten him to do that, but they
Yes,
don't.
they did threaten him. Yes, but of course, they're not going. Script wise, we got to have you got to have that inner turmoil. So we can understand why they did it the way they did.
Right. But the characters in this episode don't care about any of these questions. None of the reasoning matters when what's important to them is that their friends and family have died.
You're a Kalon. Your people would like to see us all dead. But you're also a person. And you're here with us. And it's a lot harder to hate from up close.